there. I'm your host, Leslie Randolph. I'm a self-confidence coach for teenage girls and the self-confidence coach you wish you had as a teen. Honestly, I'm the self-confidence coach I wish I had as a teen because I know I could have saved myself and my mother a whole lot of heartache if I'd only known then what I know now. I hope to save you some of that suffering by sharing the lessons I learned late in life right here on Why Didn't They Tell Us? Welcome to the show. Hey, happy people. Welcome back to Why Didn't They Tell Us? On what promises to be an uplifting, educational, dare I say, inspirational, news you can use kind of episode. It's a good one, so stick around. But first, some fun announcements. If you are in the Chicagoland area, then I hope you'll join me on Sunday, December 17th at 10 for a morning of mindset, meditation, and metabolism. I am so excited because I have partnered up with a dream team of practitioners. We have a functional medicine doctor. We have a meditation guru, I'm saying guru, to bring you an event that will serve and support your mind, body, and spirit. Y'all, this might be marketed as the most wonderful time of the year, but for so many of us, I mean, sure, it's the most wonderful time of the year because we are taking all of our time and energy to make it the most wonderful time of the year for somebody else, for everybody else. But we don't take the time to tend to our own needs. We don't take the time to even ask what we want. And I'm not even talking about presents here. I'm talking about our dreams and goals and one day wishes. I'm talking about passion and purpose. And that is what this event is all about. If you want to go after a goal in the new year, we got you. Want to quiet your mind even in the midst of holiday chaos? We got you. Want to learn how to best support your body so you are physically able to go after those goals, to chase those dreams, to create that life of your dreams. Check, 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 my friends. So I'm including a link in the show notes so you can save your seat, of which by the time this episode airs, we will probably only have a few left because we're already selling. So come on, sign up today. I hope you will join me. Not in the Chicagoland area? I still got you. As I mentioned in my last episode, I am opening up spots in my one-on-one self-confidence coaching practice in the beginning of the year for teenage girls and the teenage girl that still exists in you. If you or your teen struggle with anxiety, doubt, or insecurity, I can help. If these emotions are stopping you from creating what you want in your life, or have you questioning your worth or worthiness of achieving what you want, I can help you. Self-confidence is a skill and one I can teach you. Even if you've never felt self-confident before, I can show you how. And when you feel it, you can it's just a limitless emotion. And I love coaching on it. And I do it in person and Zoom, which is why I can help you no matter where you are in the world. So you can email me at lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com to learn more about what this looks like. You can click the link, the book a call link in the show notes to connect. And we can kick off this year or semester with self-confidence. So that's what I got for announcements. Now, let's get to the meat and bones of the show, shall we? Or should I say cake? Why cake, you might be asking? Because we are celebrating today. Y'all, it's my 1-year anniversary of Why Didn't They Tell Us? I definitely had on my phone applause queued up. I don't have a guest today. Jill Rivkin was so sweet to give me that drum roll last time, but that's my applause. Yeah. If you have been here since the beginning, you will remember it was my 40th birthday when I launched Why Didn't They Tell Us? And here we are right after my 41st, celebrating a year of this show. I am not going to take the full episode to celebrate, though I totally could, because it's exciting. But rather, I want to give you some lessons I learned over the past year for you to use in your world to create whatever it is you want in the year ahead. Because it's the season of resolutions, of goal setting and goal getting. So I can't think of a more meaningful way to celebrate my momentous milestone than giving you the tools to go create your own. Sound good? Let's do it. Diving in. So first and foremost, when you want to go after a goal, chase a dream, create the life of your dreams, you have to start. It seems so simple, but I have to say it. You have to go. You have to take that first terrifying step. Now, you can always change directions if you find yourself going in the wrong direction, and I am using wrong in air quotes over here, but you won't know it's the wrong or right way unless you start. I don't think I told you this last year when I kicked off the show, but the first step I took in recording the podcast was buying a microphone and recording that first episode. And that was 2 years ago. Yeah, full disclosure, it took me a year to really take that first step because I found out shortly after recording that first episode, like 2 years ago, that in fact was not the right direction for me at the time because I didn't know a lot of the behind the scenes nitty gritty of podcasting. Like I recorded it and then was like, now what? There, beyond getting on the microphone, I had to know how to edit. I had to get it out of my computer and into your car or your earbuds, wherever you find me, on your phone. There was a lot I didn't know beyond just talking and teaching, which is what I wanted so badly, right? I wanted so badly to share my wisdom, my lessons learned with you. And so I had taken that first step and then I got to that, well, now what moment? Now, my goal was just to be here with you, to inspire and uplift and motivate you. But there were a lot of steps I had to take to get here. That first step, just starting, showed me what I didn't know so that my next few steps could set me in a better direction. I have this visual, vision of when I recorded it and then putting it into whatever app I thought I was supposed to do. I was like, oh no, this is not for me. I do not want to do this. And I didn't even sit there and coach myself on like, you can figure it out. Of course I could have. I didn't want to. So I did my research. I also hired a production company to help me with the stuff I didn't want to do so that those obstacles, the I don't want to do this and I don't know how stuff, didn't become barriers to stopping me. So to create what you want, to go after those goals, 2 takeaways here. 1, there is a strategy for every obstacle. My strategy to the obstacle of editing and how does a show get from my computer to the world? There was a strategy to it. Mine looked like I hired a team. I did my own research. I figured it out. There is a solution to every problem. And when you are going after a goal, spoiler alert, there will always be obstacles. It doesn't matter what your goal is. You're going to hit them. And some you can plan for, and I recommend you do. In my first episode, A Goal Getter's Guide to Birthday Wishes. Go back and listen to that when you start planning those goals and resolutions. I talk about that, about how you plan and strategize in advance for the obstacles that you know are coming. But there are some that are just going to come along the way without warning. So you won't even get to those obstacles unless you begin. You won't even get to the obstacles unless you begin. That is the most important thing I can tell you. Just start. The greatest takeaway to going after any goal is to simply start. Feel the fear and do it anyway. I tell my clients all the time, the edge of the diving board will always be scarier than jumping. As you wait to start something, as you stand at the edge of that diving board, every fear, every what if, every worst case scenario is going to come to the forefront. Just expect that, okay? There's an obstacle you can plan for. Your human brain is going to do what your human brain does and tell you all the reasons why this is a terrible idea and you should quit. Or you shouldn't even quit. You haven't started. It'll tell you not to start. You don't have to believe that voice. I call that the bully brain. You know that voice. You know the one that's telling you every way you're not ready, every way you're going to fail, everything that's going to go wrong. Yeah, we all have that voice. Believe me, I had it when I started the podcast. I have it every time I go after something big in my life. Now, there are two ways to challenge that bully brain, and I talk about it a lot in my coaching practice and obviously on the show. One way is to not let that voice be the only voice in your brain. It cannot be the only one that has the microphone. So we give the voice from the bully to the bestie brain, or we give the microphone to the bestie brain. That loving, supportive voice that talks back to it, that pokes holes in that story, that tells you all the ways you're going to screw it up and do it wrong and fail. Another way, instead of just talking back to that bully voice, is you prove it wrong by taking action. Taking action to show that voice you can do it. You can handle it. You can figure it out. To that point, my second tip for you, and an honest admission of what I've learned over the past year of making this dream a reality, you have to be willing to be bad. You have to be willing to struggle. When you are starting anything new, you have to be willing to not be great out of the gate. Ugh, I know that's not fun, but it's so necessary to hear and to understand and to embrace. You are going to be bad before you're great. And your willingness to be bad is how you become great, as long as you start. See step number 1, start. Step number 2, embrace your badness, I guess. So many of us wait until we're great to take that first step. And when you do that, you are missing out on precious time to start living your dream now. It's such precious time for you to live the life of your dreams, to start going after your goals, to create more of what you want. And no matter what it is, chances are you won't be great right away. And that's okay. My friends, can you say it with me? And that's okay. I am learning that with this goal, this dream of the podcast. But with every episode, I get a little bit better. My capability and my confidence grows each and every time I get on the microphone. Every time I come here, I feel inspired about another topic to teach or a lesson that I've learned that I want to share with you. But I had to be willing to be bad. I had to be willing to be a beginner. I had to be willing to not be perfect when I first got on the microphone. I saw this when I started doing social over on the Coach Chronicles too, to promote my business. I remember when I first launched my business, and an amazing coach was telling me that video was where it was at. Video was it, and I should just pick up my phone and start talking. My brain was like, what? No. It gave me all those bully brain thoughts of, I don't know what to say. I'm going to look stupid. So-and-so says it better than I do. Oh, and I'm sure then it went out of my brain and into everybody else's brain of what everyone else was going to think of me when I did the thing. But I didn't believe those thoughts. I mean, that's not to say that they're not there. I need you to know that they are still there for me too, but I don't believe them. I challenge them. I challenge them with my bestie brain and different beliefs. And I challenge them with perfectly imperfect action. I'm not going to look at it right now, but I can tell you that first reel was rough. But the next one was a little bit better. And the next one was a little bit better. And so on and so on. I remember It's coming back to me right now. The thought of like, oh, I need to script it and I need to say it perfectly and I need the perfect outfit and the perfect lighting and the perfect hair and the perfect makeup. And I mean, this like perfection paralysis that can just keep you stuck, right? And today, because I built up that tolerance, because I was willing to be bad, because I was willing to fail, because I was willing to challenge that bully brain, today my favorite reels are filmed after the sweatiest of workouts, when all those happy hormones are coursing through my veins and my makeup is like literally dripping down my face because I'm sweating. I mean, it is sweaty, it is scrappy, but it gets my message of self-love and self-confidence out into the world. And that was my goal. I wasn't trying to be a social media star or a model that doesn't sweat after a workout. No, my goal was to share my mission and message with those who need it. So I had to get out of my own way. I had to stop believing those bully beliefs. I had to start. So key takeaway number 2, be willing to be a beginner. Be willing to fail. I have so many clients that have goals and dreams, but they are so unwilling to even try unless they know they will succeed right away. And because of that, they don't try. They don't try because they're not willing to fail. They're not willing to learn. And that's all that failure is, a chance to learn. And my third tip is really going to piggyback on this, but I always have this visual about, like, I just told you I love working out. And if you follow me over on social, you know I do too. Have y'all ever started a workout routine? It is rough. It is rough. Like the first time you do squats after you have never done them or haven't done them in a long time, like you cannot sit down for days without pain, right? If anyone's taken like a bar class recently, you're just nodding your head and like, oh yeah, there's just no greater pain than that. But if you are willing to do that and then keep going, you notice that like you work out and you're not even sore anymore. It's because you build up your tolerance. Because you are willing to be bad, now you're a boss. Okay, that was my little bird walk there. Okay, and my third and final tip piggybacks on all of the above and is really just one of the pillars of self-confidence. Before going after a goal, decide in advance how you will talk to and treat yourself along the way. How we talk to and treat ourselves is a choice we make. And I think sometimes we forget that. Even me, and I learned that a lot this year. There were plenty of episodes, even with all my tools, where I told myself, oh, that was terrible. Or much worse. I mean, I certainly could have said much worse to me. And then I would follow the breadcrumbs of that mean thought that just had me doubting myself and beating myself up. And it became this cycle of sabotage, this cycle of self-doubt. I know I've talked to you guys about my doubt bouts before. And let's be honest, they feel terrible. And the only way to stop feeling terrible when you're thinking, I'm terrible at this, is to quit, right? No. No. But when you're in the thick of it, feeling terrible because of the way that you're talking to yourself and treating yourself, you think the only way out is to quit. It is not the only way. The only way to not feel terrible when going after a goal is to not say terrible things to you and to not treat yourself terribly. How terrible it would be to quit on something that means so much to you. That would be terrible, right? Because then you have a whole other host of feelings of, I walked away from something I love simply because I was being mean to me, right? Right. If I quit on the podcast, I told y'all in episode 1, this was a dream of mine. And this dream has a ripple effect of lifting up other people and brightening their days and sharing tips and tools for them to create a better life. So I have to be kind to me. Otherwise, I'm going to be quitting or feeling awful along the way. So when going after a goal, set an intention before you even start. So remember, you got to start. to cheer yourself on every day and every step of the way, to build in moments of deliberate celebration. This can be daily or weekly or quarterly, depending on what your goal looks like and what cadence you decide upon, to acknowledge what you're proud of, to take stock of how far you've come, to tell yourself how amazing you are for simply starting, for being willing to be bad. I always recommend writing this down so you can soak up and savor that feeling of accomplishment, of pride, because that becomes your fuel to keep going. That becomes that bestie voice when the bully has a microphone, because that bully brain ain't going anywhere. We just got to learn how to work with it. Now think of how important this is going to be when I just told you that you're probably going to be bad when you start, when you take that first step to going after a goal. And if you just let that bully brain have the microphone, then you are going to find yourself in the express lanes to Terrible Town, my friend. That's it. You're just going to feel awful. And you're probably either going to hate the journey or you're going to quit. So get that self-confidence script ready for how you will talk to you when you're just getting started. And it doesn't have to be unicorns and rainbows of like, you're the best. Because you're not going to believe that, especially when that bully brain's telling you, you're terrible. But it can be something like, I'm so proud of you for starting. I'm so proud of you for trying. Every time you are getting closer to your goal, keep going. You got this. I mean, build up your bank of bestie beliefs so that you can cheer yourself on along the way when you are going after your goal, whatever it might be. And on those days when you're telling yourself, that was terrible, I don't even know what I'm doing, you have the rebuttal at the ready for you. I have so much to say on this topic. And as I was like putting together notes for it, I think I'm actually going to do it. A bit of a two-part series. I'm going to pick up where we're leaving off in the next episode. But with that in mind, if you have questions about goal setting, goal getting, tis the season for resolutions. Do you have one in mind? Are you aware of that bully brain belief that has you stopping or doubting yourself? Please reach out to me. I would love to make that next episode so juicy for you and tailored to what you need. Otherwise, don't worry. Like I said, I have plenty more to say. But as we mark 1 year of the podcast, I just have to say thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in, for cheering me on along the way as I made this dream a reality. And we're just getting started, having more fun than I ever expected. But if you have ideas for part 2 of goal getting, goal setting, and how to create what you want in your life, reach out. LeslieTheLifeCoach@gmail.com. Otherwise, I'll see you in 2 weeks for another episode of how we create what we want in the year ahead. And I just hope you do. And I hope you have me in your voice cheering you on as you do. My friends, why didn't they tell us that to get what we want, we simply have to start? We just got to go. Be willing to be bad and take some perfectly imperfect action and talk to and treat ourselves with kindness, compassion, and a whole lot of love along the way. Till next time, my friends. Love what you hear? Well, I'd love to hear from you. You can find me at confidencecoachforgirls.com. That's confidencecoachforgirls.com. Or email me at LeslieTheLifeCoach@gmail.com. That's LeslieTheLifeCoach@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you.